talking about temptation. And I thought to start off, it would be good just to give you guys a definition so we're all on the same page. Temptation is defined as the act of tempting or enticing to evil. Seduction, that which tempts, an inducement, an allurement, especially to something evil. First, I thought it would be good just to look at where temptation began. So I'm going to be sharing a story out of Genesis. And I'll walk in front of that. Let's see here. All right, Genesis 3. The serpent was clever, more clever than any wild animals that God had made. He spoke to the woman. Do I understand that God told you not to eat from any tree in the garden? The woman said to the serpent, not at all. We can eat from any of the trees in the garden. It's only about the tree in the middle of the garden that God said don't eat from it. Don't even touch it or eat it. The serpent told the woman, you won't die. God knows that the moment that you eat from that tree, you'll see what's really going on. You'll be just like God, knowing everything, ranging all the way from good to evil. When the woman saw that the tree looked like good eating and realized that she would get out of it, she'd know everything. She took and ate of the fruit and then gave some to her husband, and he ate it too. Immediately the two of them did see what was really going on. They saw themselves naked. They sewed fig leaves together and makeshift clothes for themselves. When they heard the sound of God strolling in the garden in the evening breeze, the man and his wife hid in the trees of the garden. They hid from God. God called to the man, where are you? He said, I heard you in the garden, and I was afraid because I am naked, and I hid. God said, who told you you were naked? Did you eat from that tree I told you not to eat from? The man said, the woman that you gave me as a companion, she gave me the fruit from the tree, and yes, I ate it. God said to the woman, what is this that you've done? The serpent seduced me, she said, and I ate. So as we can see, the story kind of portrays how temptation can happen and, where it started from. I thought that I would incorporate one of my favorite games, Apples to Apples. How many have played it?
Yes.
Love this game. And, if you think about the apple in the story, or that's what they use the analogy, I think everyone, kind of an American icon of temptation is eating the apple. So I thought Apples to Apples would be kind of a cool fit for tonight, but card that I chose to explore tonight is the card Juicy. And my little saying is, mirror, mirror on the wall, am I the juiciest one of them all? So let's look at what is juicy. I picked 5 cards. I said that juicy could be sexy, which is arousing, appealing and seductive, expensive, which is costly, valuable, and exorbitant, selfish, which is stingy, greedy, and misery, thank you, pure, innocent, unadulterated, and chaste, thanks, sorry, and lovable, which is adorable, endearing, and touching. Okay, I'll look. Do you want to click? Okay. So, I'm going to grab my cups. So tonight I brought 2 apples along to go along with our story. Maybe at the end. Okay. So, if we went to a supermarket and we wanted to buy apples, it wouldn't be okay that we would just go in the supermarket and start taking bites out of every apple to see which ones we wanted to bring home, right? We'd probably get in trouble from the owner of the store, maybe our parents. You see where I'm going with this. But I feel that oftentimes we do this in our dating. And, we want to see what's on the inside, so we take a bite to see if they're worth it or not. And we take another bite. And I think that a lot of things that encourage taking these bites out of the apple have to do with the music and the movies that we watch. And I feel that sometimes in American culture today, it makes us tempted to touch. So, I've got 2 apples here. One isn't eaten. One has a couple bites out of it. The whole apple, I feel, symbolizes the people that choose purity, and they choose not to be sexually promiscuous and give themselves away. They know their value. They know that they don't have to let people take bites out of them and experiment sexually. You know, they're expensive, they're costly. They know what they're worth. But I feel, and this is my story, this is what I want to talk about tonight. You know, I unfortunately was this bitten apple right here. You know, I tried to find my value in others. And unfortunately, trying to find myself in others, I lost myself. But I feel that sometimes in dating, we can become hopeless because we're trying to find somebody to love us, to find us precious and valuable, and to cherish us and love us. And I feel that a lot of times that love has become so selfish because we're trying to get something out of others that I believe we can only find in a relationship with God. And that's my story. You know, I lost my mom when I was 18 years old. I'm going to finish chewing this apple so I'm not talking to food in my mouth. Okay. When I was 18, I lost my mom. She had a stroke when I was 16, and she was very sick, and it was just a really hard time growing up in that. There was just a lot of stress constantly, and I was really scared that she was going to die, and unfortunately she did. And when I lost my mom, I loved her so much. She was the world to me, and she was the one that really loved me, showed me what love was. And so I started to look for love in all of the wrong places. In high school, I was the first apple. I was the whole apple. You know, I didn't really date in high school. It wasn't until I was 19 that I had my first kiss. And that might be kind of shocking to some of you. Maybe that's kind of weird, but I just wasn't interested in dating. I knew who I was at that time, but unfortunately, losing my mom rocked my world, and I started to question those very foundations that I first believed. And so soon I started giving in to temptations. I started going clubbing. I started dating a lot. And unfortunately, that really got the best of me, and I started to give in to sexual temptation. And I regret that. And, you know, those choices started taking bites out of me. And little by little, I lost pieces of me that I didn't think I would ever be able to get back. You know, I felt broken. I felt exposed. And I thought I could get my self-worth from people, but that was just a lie. And really, I don't know, I just started to be really fake. You know, I was being what I thought people wanted to see me as. And so, I'm sure you've heard of the analogy of like a chameleon, where the chameleon can change in its situation. And really, that's what I was doing. But I didn't realize it at the time. You know, I was really just hurting inside, and so I became numb. And I just made choices so that I could stay numb and I didn't have to face what was really going on inside. But obviously, that didn't work. You know, I finally hit rock bottom, and, you know, I'll share the rest of my story at another time, but I did fall into drug abuse and a lot of just really bad things that wasn't good. But eventually I hit rock bottom, and I just realized that unless I found myself again and I found my purpose in God, I just never felt like I was going to get my life back. And that's when I really started to make some changes, and, you know, I started going to church again and doing things to kind of help feed more positive, you know, self-worth and finding who I truly was, not selling out, not being this other person, but really figuring out who I was meant to be. So I want to talk about, go to the next slide. I guess I already told that. Let's see. So yeah, the difference between the two apples, we talked about the whole person and the bitten apple being maybe somebody that let people take bites out of them.